In this video, we'll look at a new feature of the Dialog component builder that can make it easier when you're working with dialogs that have a large number of controls with multiple sets of nested containers. So you can see here, in this case, it's a relatively simple dialog that we've created, and if we run it, you can see it looks like that. But if we look at this dialog in the builder, we see that there are multiple containers. Here, for example, is a container for the repeated section. Then that repeated section is in a frame, and then that frame is within another frame over there, and then we have a frame over there within a container over here. So to try to reduce the clutter on the dialog, if you're not working on a particular section, say for example we're not working on this repeating section, we can now go there and collapse that container. So you can see now the container is collapsed. It shows in red now, indicating that it's been collapsed, and it also shows how many items were in that collapsed container. And because the container end is no longer shown, the break has been moved up and shown in the container start over here. So now we can go there and collapse the container. So now we've collapsed a container within a container, and then let's go here and collapse that one as well. So now we've collapsed all of those containers down, and there are now 17 items in this collapsed container. If we go there and we expand, you can see we go back there, and then if we go there, expand again, we go back there, and then if we expand again, we can see we expand everything. But we could also go here and expand all this item and all of its child containers. So now you can see we've expanded we've collapsed this container and all of its sub-containers. But if we go and expand one at a time, you can see we can expand one at a time. Or what we can do again is go back here, collapse this item and all of its child containers, and then if we expand this item and all of its child containers, we can just expand everything at once. We can also go to any container and say collapse all containers, and so now you can see we've collapsed all containers. And when we move a container, then we're actually moving everything inside that container. So let's move this container, this frame, all the way to the top. So now if we render our dialog, we should see the notes underneath. You can see now we've moved the notes all the way underneath. So let's go back here, and now let's move the frame that contains the repeating section back down again. So you can see as we move it, basically it goes all the way down. And if we go there and we expand all containers, we expand everything at once. So you can see that collapsing and expanding containers makes the dialog much easier to work with when you've got a large number of controls on the dialog. Now if I were to go, for example, and collapse this container, so now you can see there are 7 items in the collapsed container, and I were to go here and say copy controls to the clipboard, you can see Alpha 5 obviously knows that this is a collapsed container, so it's actually copied 7 controls onto the clipboard. So collapsing and expanding controls is a nice productivity boost when working with large dialogs with multiple sets of nested containers. Thanks very much.